Hello and welcome to our special broadcast at the Bharat Mobility Expo. This has now become the second biggest auto show in the world. So this time around, you had more than 34 OEMs participating and more than 100 launches over 2 days. Now it's open to the public, but to speak about the big industry push, the message from the industry when it comes to electric vehicles and the future of mobility is the President of Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers and the Managing Director of Tata Motors Passenger Vehicles, Mr. Shailesh Chandra. Mr. Chandra, thank you very much for being with us. Give us a sense of the strategy and what kind of readiness is the industry showcasing with the Bharat Mobility Expo this time around?
So see, Bharat Mobility Expo is, I would say, a landmark event, which is not only just showing the progress that the country has made as far as mobility space is concerned, but in a way it is also showcasing the preparedness on the vision of what future of mobility in India would be on the foundation of sustainability. I think that's broadly, if you really see, when you move around, you'll see this as a theme. I think for the first time, Bharat Mobility Global Expo has gone to this kind of a scale. And it is bringing all the value chain entities, under the one roof and one expo, which is also in a way resounding with what Honorable Prime Minister said yesterday, that make in India for the world. And if this is the mission that we have to really propagate, all the value chain partners have to come together to make this happen and get this vision as a reality. I think it was very motivating for the Honorable Prime Minister to come here and encourage the entire value chain of mobility mission, which also shows that how much importance the government has for mobility space and its contribution to what our Honorable Prime Minister said is Viksit Bharat.
Right.
So he expects a lot from mobility sector on all the objectives that the government has to drive for the nation.
Right. Mr. Chandra, the Prime Minister, when he was addressing the auto industry, he said that the auto sector, especially electric vehicle sales, are going to grow 8-fold by 2030. Give us a sense, by the sheer number of automakers in the EV space we see at the Bharat Mobility Expo, how do you expect EV volumes to increase in this calendar year?
I believe that with the excitement that you have seen around electric mobility, just go back 4 years, 2020 maybe, when you would have come for the Auto Expo, how many electric vehicles were you seeing? And today, literally every manufacturer is coming with one electric vehicle or the other, whether it is two-wheeler segment or a three-wheeler segment or cars or commercial vehicle. You are seeing the theme is full electric. If there is so much of combined interest that you are seeing from all, not only the OEMs, but also all the ecosystem players, you are seeing a lot of ecosystem display also. This is bound to grow multi-fold, and last 4-5 years, if you see, the highest growth, the CAGR has been upwards of 150%. So this growth is going to continue because of the combined interest of all the ecosystem players as well as the OEM, and continued support of the government in terms of lower GST rate, multiple schemes, whether you talk about the PM E-Drive scheme or whether you talk about the PLI schemes, not only for auto but also for battery cell manufacturing. So I think all the enablements required to grow at that pace is very much there, which is for the first time I'm seeing, because while government was doing its bit, but the response of ecosystem players had to be what it is today.
Right. Would you say that 2025, seeing what's happening at the Auto Expo or the Bharat Mobility Expo, 2025 will be the inflection point for EVs? Some years ago, we were seeing EVs in a 250-kilometer range. Now, at the Bharat Mobility Expo, literally no car maker is offering anything less than 450 kilometers of range. Do you feel that 2025 will be the year for an inflection point in terms of pricing, the right range and high quality products, and this is the message coming from the Expo?
Yeah, I think the whole environment has kind of come to a level where a lot of things are converging together. One, policy support is at its peak, I would say, with all what I talked about. The interest of OEMs are also pretty much there to see. You have the regulations also favoring electric vehicle, promoting electric vehicles and moving away faster from the ICE world. And I think fourth biggest enablement, which has made all this possible, what you said, 500 kilometer plus cars, more investment into tech that goes inside the car, is because of significant reduction in the prices of the cells. Nearly 60% reduction in the last 4 years has happened, which has unleashed the ability of OEMs to give higher range, and along with higher range give more features, because whatever money or cost you could give inside the car was all directed towards the battery pack. So I think all these trends are converging together, and therefore I clearly see this as an inflection point. There are definitely certain residual barriers which are still left. Charging infra has to grow much faster and has to be at a level which can support the growth that we are trying to envisage. But that is also an effort which is clearly coming in the PME drive, with the support for 2,000 crore of support that is being given to the public charging infra.
When we speak about electric vehicles, we now at the Bharat Expo, we're seeing strong SUVs in the range of anywhere between 18 lakhs to 25 lakh rupees. Do you feel that if this Bharat Mobility Expo was an inflection point, perhaps by the next Expo we're going to see prices come down significantly?
You are talking about the electric vehicles?
Electric vehicles.
I would say that now the prices of electric vehicles have pretty much stabilized. There was a point where electric vehicles were 2 times the price of an equivalent ICE vehicle. Today you are seeing most of the vehicles, now at least are coming closer to the price of an automatic ICE car. So, and battery prices have also fallen down to a level below which it can be some incremental, reduction that you can see, but it has come to a level where it is more stable. Now, some of the cost reductions which are going to happen is going to come from cost reduction, improvement, design changes, etc. So I would believe that the prices are now stable. And whatever additional cost reduction will come, possibly it will again go into giving some more range and more cutting edge features. So I would say prices are pretty much at a very attractive level.
At a very attractive level. At the SIAM convention pavilion, which I had visited yesterday, I saw different fuel options being showcased. You had electric, you had flex fuel, you had biomethane as well, bioethanol. So give us a sense of how is the industry going to approach this mobility segment. Yes, EVs seem to be the big answer that everyone has, but we see plug-in hybrids, we see strong hybrids, and these different clean energy fuel options as well. So what kind of a mix are you working towards as an industry?
See, eventual destination for an auto industry in a world which is taking pledge around net carbon zero is going to be a zero emission technology. Which right now, which is viable, is electric vehicles, battery electric vehicles. But say, for example, in commercial vehicle, the long haulage application, electric vehicles might not make sense because the weight it has to carry and therefore the payload on these cargo vehicles, long distance cargo vehicles will be very penalizing. So that might go to say hydrogen ICE or fuel cell hydrogen and so on. So you're clearly going to see different zero emission technologies existing in different kind of categories and segments. That's the destination. Zero emission is the destination. But there is a journey towards that. The transition has to happen. So there will be period of transition where you will have multiple options to be given. See, there are 2 big things to solve. One is the climate change and therefore the emission regulations that you need for CO2 emissions, etc. But the other one is also energy security. So for energy security, flex fuel is the direction that the government is thinking about. And for the climate change issue, it is continuous movement towards the zero emission technology. In the interim, you will have CNG vehicles. You will have more and more, fuel efficiency friendly ICE vehicle. So all these technologies are going to exist and will serve different purpose and will have relevance in different categories of automotive as well as different segment within the same category.
Right. One interesting thing that I see, that whenever a person visits any booth in the Expo, it says PM eDrive approved or a FAME approved vehicle or PLI approved vehicle. What do you think that going forward the industry can do without this policy support, or will this policy support be needed continuously?
See, I would say that there is a time that you need to consider for giving this policy support before it becomes a self-rolling thing. And for me, globally, after going with how different governments across the globe where, say for example, electrification has really taken off well, you see this continuing till that particular category reaches a 20% kind of a penetration level. Beyond 20% penetration level, then it becomes self-rolling, is what I would say. So I think that, as I said, we talked about the inflection point and all. It is also coming because of the support that government is giving. And it is helping overcome a big barrier, which is the price barrier, as far as these technologies are concerned. So till this reaches about 20%, the support should be there. After that, it should be self-rolling, is what I believe.
All right, Mr. Chandra, we're going to take a short break at this point, but we request our viewers not to go anywhere. Lots more action on the Bharat Mobility Expo, and this conversation with Mr. Shailesh Chandra continues on the other side. Welcome back. You're still watching our special broadcast on the Bharat Mobility Expo. The big push here is clearly for electric vehicles, even though you see other alternate fuel technologies as well. We continue to be in conversation with Mr. Shailesh Chandra, the Managing Director of Tata Motors Passenger Vehicles and the President of SIAM as well. So the industry and SIAM also as a body has been working towards a localization roadmap. Now, one of the reasons why some of these companies are showcasing that they've qualified for these government schemes is because they've achieved certain levels of localization. As an industry, when it comes to indigenization of electric vehicle technology and components, what is the level that has been achieved so far? And say by 2030, what is the target of localization that we can possibly achieve?
You know, the PLI scheme clearly, or even the FAME, for example, defines a phased manufacturing plan which has certain number of aggregates that you have to localize, which is verified. But the PLI asks for a 50% domestic value addition. This is without the cells. So any product that you saw with that kind of a board, which means that it has more than 50% domestic value addition. And you are also seeing that government has come with the PLI ACC, which is around batteries, advanced chemistry cells. That should now bring localization of cells also in the country. So I would believe 50% plus then the cell localization is a high level of localization, which if every manufacturer is gunning for that and trying to go for that level of deeper localization, it will be a very good level of localization that we would have achieved. So even sticking to what PLI is asking for, and I would say that if PLI is asking for 50%, every manufacturer will try for 60% to keep that extra headroom. But also, the cell manufacturing is going to take the localization to the next level, is what I would say.
You know, I see a lot of startups in the EV space as well, people showcasing India's first solar electric car. There are AI concepts which are being showcased, which are probably 40 years into the future. Keeping all of this innovation in mind, what do you think is the kind of support that we now need? You know, the budget is around the corner. There is one conversation you always have on levies and taxation, but at a broader level, what is the support that the industry needs right now?
You know, I would not limit it to a narrow ask of what the budget should be, but this is all these technologies would mean that you have to create all those skills and capabilities within the country. And when you say skills and capability, it is infra as well as the people skills, right? And this is something which will be a joint effort of government, academia as well as industry, which should collaborate and work rigorously towards building these skills, because these are going to throw new job opportunities, more different kind of employment, and we have to get the workforce ready to do that. And SIAM has done a very deep research on this and also given the recommendations to the government. And therefore, with this kind of a big picture in mind, you know, everything should align to that. All policies, budgets and all should align to that for a longer term vision that we have in this space.
But do you think taxation needs a relook?
You know, we have always said through SIAM that we are looking for a reduced duty rates for all categories of vehicle, because possibly these taxations are very high when you compare with any other country. That ask has been there, that ask continues from SIAM.
When you speak about EVs, from this expo, what is the kind of percentage increase or EV penetration that you expect in the country by the end of this year? You could tell us about electric cars or the
by end of this year.
By the end of this
it
calendar.
Will be very difficult, Parikshit, to say what will be at the end of this year. You are talking about 2025?
2026.
2026. So FY 2026, it will be very difficult to predict, given that there are so many launches which are going to happen. The expectation is that this should lead to significant interest and therefore interest among the buyers to go for electric vehicles. At the same time, I said there are certain barriers also. So how the combination of all these effects are going to work, but definitely what you have seen in the this financial year, which is FY25, FY26 should definitely see a significant growth.
Okay, and FY25 in terms of numbers?
FY25 has not been a double-digit growth, I would say. It would be kind of 10%, 10 to plus minus 2% is the kind of growth that electric passenger vehicles will see. Three-wheelers and two-wheelers have been doing well. Two-wheelers off late has seen some level of slowdown, I would say. But three-wheelers has been doing good. Last financial year, I think 16 lakh electric vehicles were sold across all the categories. Hope we come more closer to and cross 2 million kind of a mark. Is what I would believe.
My last question is the best thing that we see. Every OEM which is launching an electric vehicle is saying that we want to target exports in a big way. In fact, Maruti Suzuki, they launched the e-Vitara and said that first we are going to Europe. You know,
yes.
So what does this show, and how do you see EV exports from the country picking up?
Every manufacturer has now an aspiration of going global as far as electric vehicles is concerned, because the fact is that one, the vehicles which are being now manufactured in India or designed for the Indian market are cutting edge and globally ready. Second, in the past you had a big handicap that all the key markets, the big markets, were at an emission level in the ICE world which was superior as compared to us. So if Europe was at Euro 6, possibly we were at BS4. This handicap has gone with the electric vehicles. So therefore that is unleashing this opportunity and orientation towards export. So I think both as a combination, there's no reason why all the manufacturers will not go for export, and that is exactly what was Prime Minister's vision, make in India for the world.
Okay.
I think all OEMs would be committed to, delivering on that vision.
Okay, one more question just to close the show, and this would be on the challenges that you see for the auto industry this year.
See, in financial year FY25, we have seen that it has been difficult in terms of demand as far as passenger vehicle industry is concerned. For commercial vehicle industry also, it has been a bit tough. Two-wheelers and three-wheelers industry have still done well. So overall, we are seeing that in the first 3 quarters, the growth has not been that great for especially commercial vehicle and passenger vehicle industry. We hope that with the infrastructure spend, which is now happening, is going to lead to a multiplier effect, and therefore it should improve the consumer sentiment. So we are hopeful that with the larger macro economy improving in the coming quarters, and hopefully this quarter, things should start turning better.
All right, Mr. Chandra, thank you very much for your time. We've completely run out of time. It's been an excellent conversation and good to get a sense of where the industry is headed. That's all we could pack in on this special broadcast. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.